Good afternoon. This is the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners for October 10th, 2017. Today we are conducting two public hearings, and I'll demonstrate what those are in just in a second. I'd like to start off first by doing introductions. I'm Commissioner Bud Blake, the chair of the board this year, and to my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards, and to my right is Commissioner John Hutchings, and to his right is Bobanita Bomar, clerk of the board, and to her right is the county manager, Ramiro Chavez. So the first hearing we today is on open space tax program. The purpose of this hearing is to accept public testimony for two applications that staff will be describing for inclusion into the open space tax program. I have a sign-in sheet in the back for those who are interested in testifying, and I need you to sign in and kind of put your name and some of the numbers there that go along in the sheet. And then I'm going to have Andrew come up and give a brief on just what the open space is and how the impacts are and what it does for the county. But when it comes for the public to speak, you get 3 minutes. And on the left up here, you see the clock. It's 3 minutes. It'll count down from 3 to 0 minutes. And when it gets to 0, it'll kind of give you this sound. And I'll let you finish your thought and get you finalize what you're trying to say there. But I'll kind of ask you to stop and bring it to some conclusion. So with that in mind, I'm going to open up the public hearing and ask Andrew DeFabis to give us some background. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair Blake. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good
afternoon. I'm here today to talk about the open space tax program and our two applications we have for consideration this year. The open space tax program is a tax incentive program for keeping land in an open space state. Let's see if I can. Might be too far away from the.
You gotta hit the.
Turn it on.
There you go. But that was.
There we go.
All righty, background.
So, open space is a tax incentive program for keeping land in an open space state. The program applies to timberland, agricultural lands, and other open spaces in the county. Both the Assessor's Office and the Board of County Commissioners operate current use designations under the Open Space Tax Program. The Assessor's Office operates a designated forest land program and a farm and agricultural program. The Board oversees a timberland program and a broader category of open space, which includes a wide variety of resources, fish and wildlife habitat, historical or archaeological resources, and a farm and agricultural conservation designation. Properties that no longer meet the assessor's requirements typically will apply to the Board of County Commissioners program, Farm and Agricultural Conservation, in the event, so that they are not removed from that designation. So the board is the legislative authority to approve the applications for open space under RCW 8434. Applicants have to meet the criteria outlined in the state law and also the policy document that has been approved by Thurston County. So the Board of County Commissioners oversees a broad policy document that governs the open space tax program. And so typically those documents will outline what lands are eligible. Lands that are ineligible include portions of property that do not feature a resource or home sites, residential home sites on properties. So a property tax results under land valued in the open space tax program because the property is valued at a portion of the market value for tax assessment purposes only. This results in a lower tax that's applied to the property. And the way that those tax reductions are calculated is through the public benefit rating system, which is a policy that's overseen by the Board of County Commissioners. The county will still collect the same amount of tax regardless of who's in the open space tax program or not. And so any taxes that are not collected on the properties that are in the program are shifted to all the other remaining properties within the tax code area. So the public benefit rating system, the way it works is that there are different criteria of priority resources, and they receive a point value. So high, medium, low, depending on what the resource is. And points are also awarded for public access or if the land is under some form of permanent preservation, such as a conservation easement. Points are also awarded for public access. I don't remember if I just mentioned that. So typically a 1 acre home site will be removed from the calculation. If you've got 15 acres, you could have 14 in open space, a 1 acre home site. There is an allowance for a home site if you have over 20 acres enrolled in the program. So for 2017, we have 2 applications for inclusion in the Board of County Commissioners open space category. Both of these are seeking reclassification from the assessor's program. They no longer meet the income requirement necessary to stay in that program. Has been no assessor's audit to date of their program. Typically, we see more than 2 applications per year. This year, the assessor has not yet done any sort of audit of their program, to my knowledge, which has changed the number of applications we receive. And that will sometimes prompt people to apply for the board's program. Otherwise, they're removed from the current use designation. So I'll briefly describe the 2 properties. The first one is the Jordan Trust property. So if you're looking at the screen, it is up in the upper left-hand side of the screen, and it's at the terminus of, I believe that is Eld Inlet. So this property is about 8 acres in size, just under. 6.99 acres are proposed for inclusion in the open space program. Currently, the property features a single-family home and a shop building on site, and it is zoned 1 per 5, rural residential resource 1 per 5, as are all the properties around it. The proposal is for continued use of the property for grazing. Currently, the Evergreen Sheep Club uses the property for grazing for their sheep program. And if this property were classified as open space based on 3 points for the farm and agricultural conservation and 1 point for the partial public access, that would be a total of 4 points, which translates to a 50% reduction in the market value for the land. Going forward for this property, that represents a smaller tax shift for Thurston County residents because this applicant will be paying a larger proportion of their property taxes. And I've got some photographs of the property I'll just go through. Okay, the next property is the Patterson property. This is located, it's in the center of the map there on the screen. It's on Old Highway 99, just a few miles south of the Olympia Airport. This property is 18.54 acres in size, and 17.54 acres are proposed for the open space inclusion. This property also contains a residence and a shop, and it is zoned rural residential resource 1 per 5, as are the surrounding properties. The proposed use of this property is as a residence and continued management of open space. And if classified as open space under the public benefit rating system, it would appear to qualify for 3 points under the farm and ag conservation for a 50% reduction in market value. Similar to the last case, and going forward, the tax shift would be smaller for county residents as this landowner would be paying a larger proportion of their taxes. Here's some photographs of that property. Okay, so far to date this year, the Planning Commission held its work session on the open space applications in June. They held a public hearing in July and subsequently made a recommendation of approval of both applications. The applications and that recommendation were brought before the board in August at a work session, and this public hearing was scheduled for today in October. Notice of this hearing was mailed to the surrounding property owners and also advertised in the newspaper of record, the Olympian. Staff have received no written testimony for this hearing. The next step would be for the board to deliberate and ultimately approve or deny the applications for open space. That concludes my remarks. Are there any questions?
No, very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Just want to reiterate, no response email comment-wise?
I didn't
nothing.
get anything, no.
All right, thanks, Andy. No.
Quick question. So there's the assessor's program, and then there's the commissioner's program, right?
Correct.
Throughout the entire county.
Correct.
This year there's only 2 applications, and we're going to vote on them one way or the other here in a second. How many were last year? Off the top of your head?
I wrote it down. I need to ask. We had 9 applications last year. We had 7 applications in 2015, and then yeah. So.
9. So 9, 7. I'm going backwards. So 2, 9, and 7. So it's not a lot during the whole year process. But
that's correct. Right.
Okay. Another question?
No.
Nope. Nothing.
All right. With that in mind, I'm going to open it up for the public to address the board and ask if there's a sign-in sheet. Is there a sign? No one signed in? I'll just look across the audience and see if there's anybody who would like to come to the podium and address the Board of County Commissioners on the open space tax program. Seeing nobody indicate, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing portion. and then ask the board to close the public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion passes. And so what is the pleasure of the board for going forward with the approval of the open space applications?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the Jordan Trust and Patterson Open Space Tax Program applications.
Second.
It's been moved and second as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Okay, so that's public hearing number one. And the next public hearing is, surrounds the Holiday Valley Water Association. So the purpose of this public hearing is for the Holiday Water Valley Association has applied for a new non-exclusive 10-year franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a water distribution system within Thurston County rights of way known as the Holiday Valley Court Northwest and Holiday Valley Drive Northwest, Forest Park Drive Northwest, and Forest Park Court Northwest, and Forest Park Street Northwest, and 42nd Avenue Northwest. State law requires that a public hearing be held on a franchise application. So, I'm going to ask Mr. Craig Sessions to come. He's already there at the podium. Congratulations. And then, if anybody in the public would like to sign in that's still here, then we'll bring any of the public members to the podium and give testimony. So with that in mind, Mr. Sessions, do you want to give us some background on the Holiday Water Valley Association?
Thank you, Commissioners. The Holiday Water Valley Association has applied for a new non-exclusive 10-year franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a water distribution system within Thurston County along a right-of-way known as Holiday Valley Court, Holiday Valley Drive, Forest Park Court, Forest Park Street, and 42nd Avenue. It's located in Section 34, Township 19 North, Range 3 West. The system was constructed in 1969 and has been maintained by lot owners until the formation of the Holiday Valley Water Association in November of 2004. RCW 365504 requires that a public hearing be held on the franchise applications in accordance with said RCW. Notice was published twice in the official county newspaper. However, it was not posted in 3 public places in the county seat. The non-exclusive franchise process for water system is consistent with the county's strategic plan and meets the external goal of environmental sustainable resources, preservation, and enhance our physical environment and natural resources. Public Works did not receive any written comments on this water franchise. Do you have any questions?
Okay, with that in mind, I'll open it up for the public to come and testify and see if there's anybody on the sign-in sheet, just double checking. No? Anybody in the public would like to come to the podium? Seeing none, I'll close that portion of the public hearing and see what the pleasure of the board is to adjourn and to take more data and information in and wait for more public comment. Is that the direction?
I'm good now.
Okay, so,
All right.
motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn the public hearing in order to complete the posting requirements of RCW 36.55.040 until October 31, 2017, beginning at 3 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard in room 280, Building 1 of the Thurston County Courthouse, 2000 Lake Ridge Drive, Southwest Olympia, Washington, to consider the application of the Holiday Valley Water Association for a non-exclusive franchise for a water distribution system in Thurston County rights of way for a period of 10 years.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. We are adjourned.
That's doing quick business.